Hello, everyone. Welcome to CommunityFIT 2025. Happy New Year. I see Zoom has wiped out my normal background. I'm Alicia with Western Health Advantage, Community Health and Wellness Manager. We're so happy that you're here today. For those of you who are new, we also have Raymond. He is always on the classes with us to help us with any tech issues that we might have. And then, of course, James, who you will see in a moment. If you haven't met him, you will meet him in about 1 minute. So this is the start of a new 6-week CommunityFIT segment block. And I will let James talk about what we're going to do and learn during this 6-week block, and maybe what we're going to do later on in the spring as well. Real quick, since I still have about 30 seconds, those of you who are brand new to CommunityFIT, this is your very first class. Can you send up an emoji so we can see about how many new folks we have today? All right, we got one. Oh, look at that. I love seeing that.
So many
Okay.
new folks.
Yay. Okay, then let's send up an emoji for all the returning folks today. Woo, woo. We got one, two. Here they come.
Awesome.
They're going to be coming in throughout the whole class now.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
That's
yeah.
great. Without further ado, I'm going to hand it over to James. Have a great class, and I will see you at the end.
Thank you. Thank you, Alicia. Appreciate it. Well, I am so happy to be back for another series of Community Fit. Um, yeah, so we have a little bit of a switch up this go around. As always, we're going to do, well, as we've been doing recently, we're doing 6-week segments. So we've got kind of 6-week segments, and then we'll take a little break, and then we'll come back. I believe we have 3 installments of CommunityFIT, 3 6-week segments that will take us until like June. So I don't remember exactly the on and off dates, but just know we've got like 6 weeks, little pause, 6 weeks, pause, 6 weeks, and then next thing you know, it will be June. Here we are, beginning of the year, already talking about June. And the revamped class is Midweek Desk Stretch. If you've been with us since we've been doing Midweek Desk Stretch, which feels now maybe about a year-ish, we revamped it this time. The old format was that we'd kind of just ask you, what is it that you need to work on? And we'd work on that. Midweek Desk Stretch is really an embodiment class. It's really dealing with areas that you feel tense, that you feel tight, that maybe you just feel disconnected from or in pain around, specifically things that can be done at the desk. It's really a tool for you to get through the rest of your week and help you feel better in the meantime. Well, the revamped idea around that is we're going to kind of center different areas of the body, and then we'll kind of move on. It doesn't mean that we won't be doing some full body every now and again. But this first installment is what we're calling a tech neck unrec session. And so we're really going to be focusing from like shoulders, neck, jaw, eyes, kind of like the upper body. And then we have sort of like a mid body, and then we've got some lower body stuff coming in later installments. Again, we've got those 6-week segments. This first 6 weeks is really about upper body. So as we move along, again, this will be the first class, and we have 5 more after this. Feel free to drop in specifically if you have questions, comments, concerns about anything from wrists to elbows to shoulders to neck to jaw to eye to headaches and migraines. Um, anything like anything you're seeing on the video screen right now, essentially, that is all fair game in this first series. Again, we'll have future series if you're like, well, I really came because I got the low back thing. Miraculously relieving some tension up top is going to also help in other areas of the body. And like I said, we'll be dropping in some whole body movements throughout these first 6 weeks, primarily focusing on the upper body. Then we'll switch gears. Next series, I believe, and correct me if I'm wrong, Alicia. If not, we'll just make it so. The next series will be sort of back stuff, and then we've got some like hip stuff. I believe, to the best of my recollection, that is how we segmented it. Alicia, if you have that, Raymond, if you have that, and you want to correct me in the chat, by all means, correct me in the chat because I'm just going off of what was in my head. Right now, I know for sure we're going to do some upper body stuff. Again, if this is your first series of classes with us, we always get started with nervous system warm-ups. As we progress throughout the weeks, because this is a class and a course, it kind of builds upon itself. As we progress, hopefully you'll kind of understand what we mean by nervous system warm-ups. You can follow me along. If you have your own nervous system warm-ups, whether that's a breath work, a orientation, if you know the toolkit, any of the toolkit exercises, whatever it is, go and do what you need to do or follow me along. If you're really interested in nervous system work, if you feel like your cortisol levels are too high, if you feel agitated, if you feel disconnected and disassociated, if you just feel stressed or anxious or belly issues, chronic neck stuff, you probably need some nervous system work. On Fridays, we have our Adjusting to Change Toolkit class. That one really truly runs more like a course where we each week we kind of tackle a different subject around change, and in particular your body's physiologic response to change, which is where stress, anxiety, overwhelm, burnout, trauma to a degree all come from. So do the come to Fridays for nervous system work in particular. I happen to look down. These sessions, thank you, Alicia, they're approximately 30 minutes long. We kind of end up doing more talking at the beginning of the series and then less talking as we go through. Fridays, totally different ballgame. We will have sessions where it's like jump right in and sessions where there's quite a bit of talking because there's some inventory, some life inventory that goes on. There's some kind of understanding of the nervous system stuff. So, without further ado, let's jump into some nervous system warm-ups. Again, if you have something that really works for you, by all means, do that thing. I'm going to start off with like the easiest one imaginable. It's just a normal human being inhale, long, exaggerated, prolonged exhalation. What helps me with the exhalation is to imagine that you're trying to blow out a candle, but not try to like puff it out almost. It's like a trick candle, right? Like you've got to get really strategic about how long and sustained and calculated that exhalation is. So let's just do a few more. Regular human being inhale, exaggerated exhale. One more minute of that. One or two more cycles. And then slowly just begin to look around your room. Taking your time, slowing it, like intentionally slowing it down, and just notice objectively things that are in the room. So, an object of noticing might sound like there's a door and a wall and a closet, and it's open, and there's clothing inside of the closet, and there's a plant and a window. Out of the window, I see another house and grass and trees, a sidewalk, and another tree. So I look up, there's a ceiling and a fan, an air vent, and more plants. And I'm just noticing what's what's in my space, above me, below me, behind me. And I'm just going to take time, almost like I'm receiving the room instead of staring at the room. It's like I'm just allowing the room to be seen. Now, in particular, because we're focusing on upper body, look forward and whatever's in front of you, whether that's a wall, it's a screen, it's whatever, look forward and kind of whatever's straight in front of you at horizon line. And then almost take and pinpoint your vision, like you're going to intentionally stare. Maybe your avatar here is like a Superman or like an X-Men sort of thing, where it's like you have lasers that come out of your eyeballs and are drilling a hole through whatever's in front of you, like it's staring with intention. And then in comparison, so you're going to intentionally soften your eyes, almost as if instead of staring, now you want to see the periphery. It's like my vision gets really wide and soft, and I'm intaking what's to the right and left of me as much as I'm trying to intake what's below and above me, as much as I'm trying to intake what's in front of me. It's like I'm dilating open. And then in comparison, I change my mind and I laser focus. And then I dilate open. And I laser focus. And I dilate open. Quite literally, if this is all I taught for the next 15, 20 minutes, this is going to help. Whatever you got going from the shoulders up, especially if you work at a computer. By nature, computers require you. It's like they invite you to stare and dilate and close the world like really, really small. And every once in a while, it's not just taking a break and looking away from your computer, it's what how you're doing it with intention. And so I just dilate open. Now, a little hard to do in a room, but in your space, maybe as, especially if in your space, if you're in a room, but you can see into another room, like I'm looking and there's like another bedroom that's just through the door crack there. And I'm going to see if I can look at the furthest thing from me, or I can look out the window. And out through the window, I'm going to look at the furthest thing. Maybe it's the top of a tree. Maybe it's the house down the block. Maybe it's across the house to the other side. It's in the office like 20 cubicles over. Whatever it is, what is the line of sight that is furthest away from you? And then do that same exercise. Laser beam focus at whatever's furthest away, and then soften the focus. It's like you're dilating open. It's like a bigger space now. And then stare and then dilate. Stare and dilate. Now, if you need a break at any time, maybe that's the exercise you go back to, whether it's a close range, right? Like this is how close is something. And then the further thing, like how far. And you're training your eyes and the muscles around the eyes and the nerves. And surprise, your eyes, and it's going to sound a little gross, your eyes are just exposed portions of your brain. Your eyes are connected into your brain and are connected into your nervous system. They are the part of your brain you can look at in a mirror. So we're exercising our nervous system in a really productive way and the muscles around it. And a lot of that is what causes the rest of your nervous system and body to get really tight and tense. So just practicing that. Now, invitation is for the rest of class. Maybe you just try to stay dilated open and wide. And maybe when it works for you, you also not only stay dilated open and wide. And why am I suggesting that? Well, you probably spent some time today staring at something, but maybe you also look far. I don't have that luxury. I'm going to look here, right? But you can kind of turn every once in a while and just let your eyes rest. So, letting my eyes rest, I'm also now going to bring my hands together and get them warm. And I'm going to take my nice warm hands and I'm going to take my right hand to the left side of my neck. Big heavy hand draws to center as I twist my face. Big, heavy hand draws to center as I twist. Big, heavy hand. Big, heavy hand. One more each side. Last one over here. Then I'm going to take either 2 or 3 fingers and I'm going to go right where the bottom and the top jaw meet. Like if you open and close your mouth, you'll feel some movement underneath your fingertips. Then top and bottom teeth get to separate just a bit. And we're just going to go in and it's like you're pressing in on a scale of 1 to 10. Maybe it's about a 3. You don't have to go super hard. And then you're making maybe quarter-sized circles. And then maybe that goes down into the jaw. Again, jaw tension is often coupled or holding hands with neck tension. A lot of what we're doing is working directly with the nervous system, and right where we're touching, right in that jaw area, is a trigeminal nerve complex. It is a fancy way of saying a bunch of nerves that are connected into the neck, into the throat, into the face. And when we kind of touch it, make it feel good, it's a cue to your nervous system to relax, yield, and let go. You don't always have to, surprise, you don't have knots in your muscles. It's not a thing. There's no such thing as a knot in a muscle. It's tension. It's almost like it's seized up. And typically that's due to stress, fear, anxiety. It's like a reflex. And so just working with the nervous system in like a really simple light touch is almost always the way to let that kind of metabolize, unravel, let go a bit. Then we're going to take and just kind of like fingertip tap, like little raindrop taps all over the face. Now, if that's enough for you, great. And if not, you're going to take your thumbs. You've got cheekbones right here. And whether you want to use one or both, you're going to go underneath the cheekbone and it's like you're going to gently push in at a level 3, right? Like my fingers are going to try to touch the back of my head on a scale of 1 to 10. We're at a 3, and then gently up at maybe a 1 or a 2. It's not a lot of pressure. And if you're like, that still feels, it's too tender, go lighter. If you're like, that feels like a lot of work, well, I've got the armrest of my chair here and I can put my elbow down and I can just kind of rest into that, right? So like I'm going to let gravity do some of the work. So whether we're here or you want to go here or we want to go here one side or both sides, you make the call. And then maybe it's a little wider and a little more and a little more. Working your way back through. You can stay there or right underneath your eyebrows. It's like you've got the eyebrow bone, for lack of better colloquial terms there, right? It's like at the top of your eye socket. Same thing. I'm just going to kind of push gently in and gently up. I can use gravity. I can just do this, right? Or how many times have we seen people do this, right? It's like a natural knowingness of just kind of releasing some pressure and then working our way back through. Lastly, you might want to use the palm of your hand here, one side or both. But I'm going to take the palm and I'm just going to kind of rest my eyes into it. I'm literally putting pressure on my eyes on a scale of 1 to 10, we're at maybe a 2 or a 3, as if I'm trying to push my eyes gently back into the eye sockets. Couple more breaths. And when I come up, I'm not going to even open my eyes yet. I'm just going to do some fingertip taps and then gently let my eyes open, maybe just like I'm like waking up in the morning a bit. And then once I open my eyes, I dilate wide, and maybe now I do a little more orientation. And I start to look around. And the reason why is we just did a lot of nervous system work, right? It felt like massage, it felt like acupressure, but a lot of those areas that we just touched, woke up a bit, are highly innervated areas. And that kind of takes you into your nervous system. Like you just spent some inward time. And to regulate, we need a little bit of outward time now. So I can look furthest distance, dilate wide, and just continue moving. Then hands together, get them warmed up. Fingertips are going to go at the back of the neck. It's like my fingertips are going to press on my spine up at the very top where my spine meets my skull. So way up at the top. Elbows are going to be relaxed, and I'm just going to let my elbows kind of let gravity pull my arms down so that my fingertips kind of press into the spine and the back of the neck a bit. And then I'm just going to rock my head yes. Now, your hands might start to slip, and that's fine. You're going to just kind of pull around to the front. And maybe one more of those. Right hand is going to kind of just massage or touch the left collarbone, right? So that collarbone goes from the middle all the way to the shoulder. I'm just going to rub it, touch it, massage it, put a little pressure. Again, on a scale of 1 to 10, we're not at an 8 or a 9. We're at like a below 5. You make the call, whatever feels good for you. And then maybe up onto the shoulder a bit. And then maybe it's just kind of being held in the armpit. Again, working with the nervous system underneath that armpit, lots of nerves, lots of lymph nodes, lots of awareness in the body. So we're just going to hold. We're just going to be here. And maybe then there's just a gentle rocking. Right ear over to right shoulder, left ear over to left shoulder. It's not trying to touch, it's just a little rocking. A little bit of breathing. And then relax. And for a moment, just check in. What does the right versus the left side of your body feel like? The side you worked on versus the other side? Any noticing that you have? And then let's do the other side. Opposite hand to opposite collarbone. You can even work up into the shoulder proper. And then into the armpit. And then just a little rock. and release. Take your fingers, just flick them. You're flicking off water. Like really, there's some emphasis in there, right? Like it's not relaxed. It's like really trying to get whatever's on your hands off your hands. And then take, and maybe it's just some like flamenco or gentle movement through the wrists, whatever that needs to look like for you. And then maybe reaching up and then forward and to the sides. Maybe one arm reaches backwards, one arm reaches forward, and they change their minds. Out, up, forward, whatever it is. And then just kind of shake. Right hand grabs a hold of the left wrist and vice versa, and they kind of pull like they're pulling apart and release. There's a pull and a release. It's like you're waking up in between your shoulder blades. When you pull, undoubtedly you feel a little bit of shoulder blade action. One more. And then other side. Or just flip. Last one. Releasing. Just letting the shoulders kind of roll. One at a time, both go in the same direction. You choose. Whatever feels the best. And then a different motion. And a different motion, whatever that is. Maybe it's just one at a time. Just kind of varying it, right? You don't want to get stuck in a routine. That's most often what's causing the neck stuff to begin with. It's not you're doing anything wrong. It's just you're stuck in doing something in a very particular way, often unconsciously, done over time. So you're stuck in a rut. Sometimes it's just about introducing variability, something new, a new movement, a new way of dilating open, a new way of breathing, whatever it is, just variation. Now, I'm going to turn to the side so you can see this one better. We've named this class Tech Neck on Rec. What is tech neck? Well, it's something a lot of us experience whether we know the name or not. You're sitting and you're looking at your computer, you're looking at your tablet, you're looking at your phone, you're reading, you're in an important conversation, right? It's become known as tech neck, but it's really anything that's got your attention. And you're sitting up and you're in good posture, whatever that is. And next thing you know, you're here, right? Some variation of there's a stimulus, computer screen, book, conversation, phone, whatever it is. And it's like a moth to a flame and you're being sucked in and drawn in. It's compounded even with the phone, right? So if I pick my phone up and we've got it down here, because now I'm here and doing this. And it's not that those muscles are uh, what you don't want to do is stretch the muscle, specifically in the back of the neck. That muscle is already stretched, or what we would call stuck long. Remember, it's not about a bad posture. You should have access to this, and you should have access to this. You should have access to this. So many variations. It's being stuck. And when you're here, and the back of that neck and those muscles are long, we would call that stuck long. Versus the front here, stuck short. Those muscles are shortened. So what will not make it feel better is stretching, right? What will make it feel better is what we would call exercise or shortening those muscles. Here's a simple way to do that. I'm going to sit in my chair and I'm going to feel my butt in my chair. And I'm just going to relax down into that. And I'm going to feel that support from the bottom. Then I'm going to allow my head to slide forward. And I'm not just going to pull it back. And I'm not going to pull it up. It's like it's traveling up a ramp. And that might look like this. It's back, but it's also up. So it's at a diagonal up, almost like you're being pulled up and back from the crown of the head. Chances are, when you get it right, you're going to feel some of that muscle contraction that we felt when we pulled the elbows or pulled the wrists. And it shouldn't feel like it's coming from like the throat area. It's like, oh, look at that. It woke up something in the back of my shoulder blades. It made me sit a little taller, but not up and out of my seat tall. It's like I'm still grounded, but here I am. And it's just a sliding exercise. So let's practice that for a few reps, right? It's like a sliding back and up. Best visual is like a boat out of the water up a boat ramp or up a flight of stairs. It's something that goes up and backwards and then relax and up and backwards. And as I do it, maybe I'm also working with my nervous system and allowing eyes to dilate wide. And I'm moving in and out. I'm not getting stuck in the good posture. It's like I'm going wherever I want to be, and then I'm introducing something new. And I'm just providing my body and your body opportunities to experience variability. Oh, I can do this, or I can do this. And so next time you're reading, you're working, you're on your computer, and you start to feel some kind of way, probably in the neck, you can go, I have choices. And I think that is where we'll leave it for today. If you're new, we always invite questions, or if anyone, invite questions specifically about stuff we've done today, or if you've got questions about neck and shoulder and wrist and all of that sort of stuff, we'll stick around for a bit, answer whatever you got. I don't know if Alicia has anything to announce, but welcome back. Oh, you got it all
I
fixed. Look
do.
at
I do.
you.
I found my
Look at
background.
you.
I
You are
know.
like a
I'm
tech
all official
genius.
again. I just have to say, so James and Raymond know I've been really under the weather for quite a few weeks now, and all of that work that we just did on the jaw and the eye sockets, and even just this at the end, I can feel things like dispersing. I'll just leave it
Yep.
at that. So that's
Just
helpful for
movement.
that as well. So thank you.
Good.
Thank you guys for coming today. You know, of course, on Friday, we have our Adjusting to Change Toolkit class. If you don't have that Zoom link, it is a separate Zoom link from this class. So if you don't have that, I'm going to see if Raymond is available to pop that link into
He's
the
got
chat.
it. He
If
did
he's
it.
not there, he did give it to somebody a minute ago, and I can copy and paste it in.
Yep, he got it.
Also, okay, cool. Also, I know there are a lot of questions about the recordings, so I'm not sure if Raymond has already done that. Has he popped in the YouTube Friday
No.
class link? Okay, so I can go find the YouTube link as well. I am not sure. I have to answer this question every time we start. I'm not sure how quickly marketing will be able to get the videos edited and onto the YouTube channel, but we are constantly asking for that. So we will let you know as soon as they go up. However, you can go back and review our former classes in the meantime. This is a new class that we're doing, the Tech Neck Unrec. So this is some new stuff that I'm even learning. I thought I knew all of James's brain, but
No,
clearly
no.
I don't.
There's
Yes, and we had a member just say, if I am a member of WHA, will these be on the website? They're on YouTube. They're available to anybody. You don't have to be a WHA member to take this class or to view the classes, the past classes on our website. It's a public YouTube channel. So let's see if there we go.
Yep,
Raymond just popped
he's
it in
got it.
for us. So grab
So
that link. If you don't have the Zoom link for Friday, grab that link as well. And then we will update you as soon as we can get those recordings up. I know that they're important, so we're definitely working on that.
yeah.
So thank you all so much, and hope to see you Friday. If not, we'll see you next Wednesday.
You got it.
All right. Any other questions?
Nope, we answered, I think, all of them. The only ones that we didn't answer were about we don't do printouts of these. It's really
Okay.
just like a live class that you can pop into that will eventually make its way onto YouTube. On YouTube, we should have several installments now of like
We do.
Midweek Desk Stretch and Adjusting to Change, but we have I don't even know. We should go in and count how many videos we actually have. There's hundreds and hundreds now of videos of Move Lab, which was a big movement class we did, of stress reset and all of those. So work your way through. And what Raymond just sent was the latest installment, but there's probably a lot more in that library as well.
There are multiple playlists, so I just put the most recent one, but once you go
Okay.
to that link, they can access all the other playlists as well.
Awesome.
Awesome. Thank you, Raymond.
Yep.
All right, everybody, stay healthy. I'm working my way there. We'll see you Friday or Wednesday. Have a great 3-day weekend.
You got it.
Okay. Bye.
Bye, everybody.